channels of Digimarcon. We are here live once again at Accor Stadium in Homebush, Sydney, and it is wonderful to be here surrounded by incredible businesses doing incredible things in the marketing industry, and the insights that we are all learning from each other has been absolutely phenomenal, and it's only day one. So what I love about this initiative of having this podcast is that we get to speak to so many different people in this industry. So I'm Sarah Kassam. If you haven't seen any of my lives yet, I am the co-founder of Bright Orange Door alongside my incredible colleagues Alice and Amy. Go check us out if you get an opportunity. It's a lot of fun. We're very zesty. And we are bringing this to you in partnership with Digimarcon, which is absolutely wonderful. Here, I am so excited because we have had some awesome conversations out there on the floor out there. We have Theo from ThoughtGreen. It's so wonderful to have an AI guy here. Like I said to Theo, I knew that I needed to speak with as much passion as I possibly can with this subject because it is evergreen, and we are seeing it develop and develop and develop every day, right? So Theo, can you just give us a rundown of what you do and a little bit about the company that you're with?
Sure, thanks Sarah. So hi, I'm Theo Mark from ThoughtGreen. So I run sales and marketing for the organisation, and basically we're a platform and product development company that we're a little bit different. So we partner with universities to do a lot more sort of what we call rapid prototyping. We do a lot of large engagements for R&D projects in the space. And we've recently partnered with Deakin University with what we call their AI lab. So it's an industry partnership, and they do large scale AI projects that have a bit of that R&D nature to them. So they're new technologies in the space, and they work for Department of Defense, they work for aerospace, they do work for the government, you know, anything that needs a solid R&D, R&D spend and R&D, nature to the project. Aside from that, we do platform development, product development. We use artificial intelligence solutions for that. And we're doing a large piece at the moment in healthcare and also in recruitment. Wow. So watch this space.
That's awesome.
And then, it is. And then we also do things like, your cloud infrastructure. We do networking, security, and the like. So, we're a large organisation in that space. We're in 3 countries. We have over 100 staff. We're in India, North America, and Australia, and we're expanding.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a very broad spectrum of AI and technology that you're dealing with.
Yes.
And obviously there's challenges that come with that, with such an evolutionary process with what we're seeing with AI. Let's talk about the cybersecurity a little bit.
Sure.
You mentioned that you're working with governments and you're working with organisations that would require a lot of cybersecurity protocol.
Correct.
What are some tips, or what sort of insights are you able to give our marketers in relation to what people need to be watching for in terms of cybersecurity moving forward? So
in terms of cybersecurity, I recently went to a conference run by an organisation called 6D. So it's a number 6, letter D.
Easy.
AI conference. And they run a lot of cybersecurity and AI conferences.
Yep.
So bit of a shout out to them. And one thing that was, a paramount key takeaway from that was this idea of a double-edged sword. And people probably hear this a lot in the industry. So AI is a double-edged sword. And what that means is that with AI, you've got, yes, it will help us automate processes, make processes more efficient. And we have this idea of agentic AI, creating multiple robotic agents that will do most of the legwork that we don't want to do, or that we just don't have time to do.
Right.
So all your admin work, all your marketing and social media and things like that. When I say marketing, not to say you guys are going to be out of a job, but
Yeah.
a lot of it will be automated.
Yeah,
You know,
for
a lot of it
sure.
will be automated, but you still need to keep the human in the loop.
For sure.
Humans still need to see what the AI is doing. So what's happening is, yes, that's a benefit, but the other end of the sword is the risk. You're putting data out there in the ether. That's sensitive client data, pictures, you know, what we call unstructured data, pictures, texts, and pictures, texts, and other forms of data. Could be MP3s and music.
Yeah.
These unstructured data, where's that going? You know, unless you have guardrails in place, and we talk about guardrails as being a very sort of structured process, and it is. So guardrails, you need your risk assessments. You need to understand those risk assessments.
Yeah.
You need to understand from the risk assessment, how do you then mitigate those risks if something happens? These are all part of what we call the guardrails. And those guardrails are there in place so that if someone decides to hack into your organization, well, you know, you've got processes in place to do that. You need an AI strategy. And that's where we're seeing moving forward. Companies are now starting to have an AI strategy where they never had that before.
No, that's right.
Before was just, oh, the AI is a great tool to have, let's put it in.
Yeah.
No, because AI, as I said before, is a double-edged sword. Great for what we do in business, not so good for cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Because you're putting information out there and people are hacking. So recently, just as an example, you know, a large banking firm got hacked, and that was because they used ChatGPT. They had all their sensitive, someone put their client information on ChatGPT, and then and they got hacked.
Yeah, well, that's a no-no. And,
Correct.
You know, that's a big no-no.
Correct.
And what was the repercussions of that? Do you know what the outcome of that situation was?
The outcome was that these, what we call, it's called ransomware. So these hackers asked for $10 million and the bank just paid it. They said, we'd rather pay 10 million than lose billions on the other end of the sword. So they just paid them. The hackers went away and they learned from that. They built a war room. They hardened their SOC and SIEM. They hardened all their applications and changed their security provider. And what we're noticing is it's not a tech problem. A lot of people think cybersecurity is a tech problem. It's not. It's a you and I problem.
It's a problem. It's a human problem, isn't it?
Because the main problem is Marg down in marketing or Marg down in finance going, oh, yeah, what's his name from Coldplay? This lead singer of Coldplay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he sent me a birthday request. Oh, I must be great. He must be a great person. Clicks on a link. It's actually deep fake.
Yeah.
It's not him.
No.
It's a hacker getting your information.
So a lot of that comes back to education, doesn't it? Within workplaces. I know this obviously, this is an issue that extends well outside of workplaces, but for this particular podcast here, that education really needs to start right from the beginning of giving someone access to technology, right?
Correct.
What would be the tip there for agencies or anyone watching here that is going, oh, well, I've never actually thought about it, AI policy potentially, or I haven't looked at that for a while. You know, what are the biggest tips that you can give for an organisation as a whole?
I would suggest look up organisations like CX. So they're a big cybersecurity firm. They've got a product called Friendly Phishing.
Right.
So Friendly Phishing, and we've used Friendly Phishing, it's basically a platform that teaches your employees to be aware and what to be aware of.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So I would suggest, you know, using those platforms, and also I would suggest investing in training your management team to train others. So train the trainer, so to speak. So that way you don't just have a centralized training group that's training the whole organization. You've got specialists within each department knowing their domain area, and training their teams specifically within that specialty domain. Saying, it's not just don't click on a link. It's also coders getting fake code.
Yeah, of course.
It's also marketers getting deep fakes.
Yes.
You know, and one of the biggest problems in marketing now is this idea of deep fake. You know, how do you know it's real?
Yeah, I know. It's actually very scary.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that even I look at as someone who's on the internet 24/7 with work, and I'm like, is that? I have to consciously think to myself, is this actually real? And a lot of the time, it's not.
Exactly.
it's quite frightening.
Yeah, and it's the idea of data integrity as well. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
You know, marketing, one of their core, I guess, fuel drivers, if you will, is in the validity of the data they get.
Yeah.
If they're getting data that's come from a source that's not verified,
That's
or
right.
a source that's driven by some AI bot that's giving them false information, they need to know that and be aware of that.
That's it. That's it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, let's turn our attention to a little bit about what's happening next. Like what's
Sure.
the future of AI? Where are we going? And I know this is super. We've talked about the dangers of it, but obviously we have protocols in place, and they are evolving as AI is evolving.
Correct.
But what's next? What's the exciting things to come? And I hope that it does, you know, relate to a safer way that we're using this
Sure.
sort of technology. But what's next? Like what? Let's get excited.
So, okay. So, the next iteration, and I want to say iteration, AI is not going to develop in iterations. It's going to develop in leaps. So, iteration is a software term.
Yeah.
And the reason why we use iteration in software terms is because that's what we call features. A feature is an iteration. So you've got version 1.0, version 2.0. Each feature is an iteration. In AI terms, it'll be what's the next leap? And it will be leaps.
Yeah.
And we talk about this hypothetical 2030. It's just a hypothetical date.
Yeah,
We don't really
sure.
say 2030. We just talk about it. And in circles, people talk about it as a hypothetical. So for 2030, what they predict and what we're seeing in AI of multiple, what we call, and we're starting to see that now with things next best action in Salesforce.
Yep.
Sorry, so next best action in Salesforce
Yep.
being Salesforce's agent, which they call Einstein.
Yes.
So Einstein tells their sales agents what is the next best action to better sell that product to that client,
Yeah.
or better utilize that service for that client. And that's all done with a chatbot.
Yeah.
That's all bots.
Yeah.
So what we're going to see in the future is this use of multiple bots managed by a bot. So bots managing bots, bots creating platforms, and we're going to be going away from this monolithic architecture. What we're seeing at the moment is the adoption of monolithic architecture platforms like ERPs,
Yes.
things like, for example, SaaS products. Now, what's going to happen in the future, and this, I recently attended a conference with the CIO of Commonwealth Bank, the CIO of NAB, and the CIO of Westpac.
Right.
And what they were saying was that these bots or these agents are going to basically have what we call the platform layer. And instead of having a monolithic ERP, they're going to develop by themselves automatically. They're going to develop products that stick onto those, like Lego blocks.
Incredible.
So you want a finance model that sticks onto the platform. You want a AI-powered scheduling module. They'll make it.
Yeah, right.
And so it'll be this microservices architecture built on a monolithic platform layer. And then on the top of that, you'll have your UX layer, again, built by a bot.
Yeah.
But where humans will interact, because you'll always need humans in the loop. And we talk about this concept of in the loop, on the loop, and out of the loop.
Yes.
Keeping humans in the loop is very important because AI, as we know, has the tendency to ghost and make mistakes. So if your AI is ghosting and making mistakes, you need someone to check that.
Yes.
And you still need people who understand development to be able to verify what AI is doing.
Yeah.
So there'll always be need for people in the loop.
There you go.
And lastly, what we're noticing is we're going away from traditional development to this idea of what we call vibe coding. Not too happy with vibe coding myself, because
Right.
vibe coding is what's the vibe of the thing, you know, what's the vibe of the platform.
Yeah.
But then we're also going to things like experimental natural language coding. So no longer are we saying X plus 1 equals 3. We're saying, I want a green coat, and it'll make it for you. That's natural language coding. And that's where we're headed in the future. To the point where we're going to go to artificial super intelligence, where the code will just be all natural language.
That's amazing.
Yep, that's right.
That's amazing.
And then you've got quantum coding, so quantum AI. And quantum AI will go down on the quantum level and be able to code for the microstructures of things. So automatically in medical science, you're using AI to find diseases and to engineer those so that those diseases are no longer harmful to humans.
Yeah, wow. It's a huge leap, especially in that medical space. What we've seen there in those sort of developments has been phenomenal and beyond life-saving in many cases. You know, it's incredible.
It's been amazing.
Absolutely.
It's been amazing.
Yes.
And hospitals these days are very, look, it's still early days. Some hospitals have been reluctant to take up AI. So what they're doing is the doctors are using AI as a tool.
Yeah.
They're not just relying on it.
I think that's probably for the best.
Exactly right. Because the problem is, let's say St. Vincent's uses AI and then another hospital uses a different model or a different language model. This one detects cancer and the person survives.
Yeah.
That one doesn't detect cancer, the person has cancer and dies. Who do you blame, the doctor or the model?
But there has to be liabilities.
Correct.
It's just like, it's the same thing with cybersecurity, it's the same thing across the board. There has to be someone held accountable.
So that's why we always keep humans in the loop.
That's it, absolutely.
And so humans, I think, will never be out of the loop when it comes to AI. AI will just evolve and we will evolve to coexist.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, that accountability side of things as well, it sort of leads me to the next point that I was really hoping to speak to you about, and that is people utilising platforms that are pre-existing for their operations. And you know, is it better to go through your own software developer rather than something that's pre-existing for those reasons, or is there, you know, is it better to approach a software developer that can bespoke what you're doing to help with those sort of liabilities?
Yeah. No, look, great question. And look, this does come up a lot in industry. So you've got two schools of thought here. So you've got the school of thought where people say, well, I don't know what I don't know. Let me see what platforms are out there and I'll decide what I need.
Yes, I hear that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me means that you don't have a roadmap by your CIO, or your CIO's roadmap isn't robust enough. If your CIO has a roadmap that's robust, that's hardened, and when I say hardened, cybersecurely hardened, the roadmap that has, I guess, within that roadmap, it's got detailed understanding of why you need that product, what product you need, and what that product will look like in the next 2 to 3 years, then you can start to develop what's called unique business cases. You can start to say, we want a CRM to do X, Y, Z. And you'll already know that. And then having a development company behind you to build that product, to me, is paramount, because it'll build it in a way that you can't get off the shelf.
Yeah.
You know, we build products within, say, it takes 6 months for a regular organization to do it. We use what we call rapid application development tools or low-code tools. We can do it in half the amount of time, and we'll maintain the product for you. And we'll be an extension of your IT team. So we partner with you.
Yeah.
And we grow as the organization grows. Whereas an off-the-shelf, yes, you might get a product manager doing a bit of the management for you, but once a contract's up, you've got to renegotiate terms.
That's it.
And so, and you're not getting 90% of the time, you won't get what you need. And we're seeing a lot of this with things like Salesforce Lightning, and if you want extra add-ons, you could pay 10 grand for one add-on.
Yes, it does. It adds up. Do you feel that, in your experience, when it comes to cost effectiveness, I think a lot of agencies particularly think that it could be more expensive to go down that route. But in the long run, is it actually more cost effective to get something built for your purpose?
It is, because in the short run, SaaS platforms are great. In the long run, people always change them. I mean, and if you look at Gartner, Gartner's recent report stated that the longevity of most SaaS platforms is 3 to 4 years. And the longevity of a custom-built platform is 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
So, and with a custom-built platform, you're not going back to the drawing board and saying, let's just rip this all out and start again.
Yeah.
You're just adding to what you've already got.
So it's adding blocks rather than,
Correct.
and there's, you know, in the world of business, there's the old saying is you're better to be ahead of the game to where you want to be growing rather than getting to the point and start chasing your tail going, oh gosh, you know, we've got
Correct.
a problem to fix. Let's be in front of the issue or the potential problems that we could face if we start hitting those targets.
Correct.
There's nothing worse than that, and it's quite debilitating for a company too to go, oh, what do we do? Oh dear, you know, what's next?
Exactly right. And I think larger organisations need an innovation manager. I think the whole concept of innovation management is very important and really aligns with marketing very well, because companies at the moment, and what we're seeing especially in the healthcare space, is they're sticking to known products, they're sticking to known ideas, they're sticking to known methods. And when we come in and we challenge that a little bit, we challenge the norm, we give them something that they may not have thought of, they're turning back to the drawing board and going, we like this, we just can't afford it. So you need to have that concept of innovation and where that will take your business in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel we're in the time of humanity where we have to lean into out of the box. We don't have a choice, because I feel like if you stay within the confines of what we've known for the last, well, you know, even before COVID, after COVID, all that word, but you know, at the end of the day, if we're not thinking outside of that box, there's every chance of you falling behind your competitors and those, you know, that are coming up as well and getting out there.
I mean, if we didn't think outside of the box, you know, companies like Apple wouldn't exist.
Correct.
Microsoft wouldn't exist, and we'd all still be using Linux.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so you need to think outside of the box to be that next business that's competitive in your environment, but not only competitive, but offering something to your clients that's of value. Right now, clients are seeing same old, same old. You know, you go to a finance company, they all do predictions, they all do analytics. What's something else they can offer? What's another, or how can they better those services that they're currently providing for their clients?
I think it's always looking at what the customer actually physically needs, what their customers actually, what problems they're facing now is so different to what they were facing in those that, I won't even say that, within that time period of history, which I think I'll just forget. But also, you know, very vastly different again to 10 years ago.
Correct.
You know, so it's really just assessing your clients, your customers, the people that you're servicing, right?
Correct.
And by getting on top of it and potentially getting a software developer or start utilizing these sort of services, right?
Correct.
You will stay in front and you'll be able to let them know if they're falling behind.
Yeah, correct.
you could let them know. So, you know, that's absolutely wonderful. This has been such an insightful session. And
so last thing I'd like to add on to that is, for anyone that's in the retail marketing space, there's this concept of omnipresence. So omnipresence means being everywhere, understanding your customers' touch points at all angles. And the touch points are not just physical touch points within an office or within a retail store. It's also online as well, mobile and web. So what we're noticing is that these new AI chatbots, or AI agents, if you will, are enabling you to get that omnipresent data that's needed without physically having to be there, without physically having to utilize a lot of manpower to do so. So automatically, you're getting more information at a faster pace for less cost.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. And you can put more of your time and effort also into the operations of the business in other ways. So, you know, that's it's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's here. So, you know,
it's here and it'll plateau. There will be a period where it'll plateau, and we will sort of see it as it's always been there. You know, and then And I use the idea of cloud computing. So cloud computing was a big thing 10 years ago. Now it's just like, oh, it's always been there.
Yeah.
So AI will reach that point, to the point where AI starts what we call reasoning. And it starts using reasoning models to say, well, hold on, maybe I shouldn't, do X, Y, Z. Maybe I should do something else, and giving you alternative solutions.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And that'll be reasoning AI, and then super intelligent AI, and then AI will take over human intelligence.
Oh, great. Sounds awesome. What a great way to wrap up an interview. All right. No, look, honestly, the insights are absolutely remarkable, and we have truly appreciated your time and your intel.
Thank you.
And your experience as well, because we need to be speaking to you guys more at the end of the day to find out. I know as a marketer, I can't keep up with what's happening in the AI world. So we need people like yourself, like this company, to show us the way and to inform us and educate us. So again, thank you so much. How do we reach out to you? How can people contact you that might have gone, oh, I need to speak to this guy?
Yeah, the best way for people to contact me is to go on the Thought Green website, so thoughtgreen.com. Also, I can be reached on email, so just theo@thoughtgreen.com.
Great.
Or mobile. But just shoot me an email on thoughtgreen.com.
Yeah.
And I can pass you all my details there, and we can have a chat.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on this wonderful podcast. I hope you have all enjoyed this session, because I know I surely have. I can't get enough of it, because it's just everywhere, and there's pros and cons, and being aware of the cons, we can safeguard for a much safer future for everyone. Let's keep educating people. Let's get in front of it. And well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone. We've got one more session to go for this afternoon. And then we are going to wrap up the podcasting and the live streaming. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'll be sure to see you soon.